Hey guys, hello and welcome to this webinar on the topic Common Mistakes and Misconceptions in AI and ML. This is Venki Nag. So, I'm a data scientist with 3 years of experience. I am currently working on building models using deep learning and also machine learning, working into finance domain, building recommendation engines, and yeah. So that's a short description about me. Cool. So let us get started with it. So, 5 misconceptions and mistakes which happens to in the mind of every budding AI and ML engineer and how to overcome them. First, building models is the most superior and cream layer job. Well, that's a kind of misconception which every budding IML engineer has, that building machine learning model is the most important thing. Yeah, it is important, but it is not the only important thing. We have the whole big pipeline, and each and every component of this data pipeline has equal importance. So if you think just I'll just make some machine learning model, I just fit that, I'll use some sklearn or build some neural networks, and that is the coolest thing. No, it's not the coolest thing. I mean, yeah, it's the coolest thing, I can say. But yeah, it is not only the coolest thing. There Actually, if I say, it's a kind of pyramid. Building a machine learning model is on the topmost one, and it comes in the last stage, I can say. It is the coolest thing. Yeah, definitely it is cool, but it is not the only coolest thing. Other things are also equally important. Other things like understanding the problem statement, doing ED on the data, building actionable insights, doing data engineering, that is kind of doing data crunching, making the data model ready. Yeah, definitely your model is just going to open its mouth and you just need to feed the data in the taste it likes, and if you just get a bad data into it, it will spit it out. Yeah, that's true. So each and every component of this machine learning pipeline has equal importance. Yeah, that's true. So I can see only building machine learning model is not enough. It's a pyramid. And this whole pyramid is based on a very awesome basement, which includes problem solving, building actionable insights, building data lakes and data warehouses, doing data crunching, and doing all those data engineering jobs. Yeah, that is equally important. So if you have this mentality that being a data scientist or being an AI ML engineer, you just only have to build models, no, that's the wrong thing. You should totally avoid this, because all things are very important. This whole data pipeline is very important. So if any one of this component breaks down, the whole pipeline would get shattered. Yeah, that's true. So in a pipeline, as each and every part is important in a pipe to get water to our house, same thing applies to the machine learning pipeline. Yeah, that's true. That's a pyramid with a very big basement, and if this basement is not strong, building model is really of no use. Yeah, cool. So let us go to the second misconception. Yeah, data engineering is not as sexy job like data scientist. Yeah, that's a common misconception in every fresher. They think like doing data engineering is like, oh, like that's not cool. That's not something unique we do. That's something writing of SQL or so doing coding like every software engineer. No, that's a very wrong thing. You need to change it. Data engineering is the next sexy job in this data field. Remember that data engineering is equal important as data scientist job. You need to know each and every component of this pipeline, and also the next upcoming giant in the data engineering field is cloud. So pick up any one of this cloud you want to pick up. If you're a fan of Amazon, take AWS. If you really wanna concentrate more on AI and ML jobs, so go for Google. And if you're a person who likes your friendly UI, go for Microsoft Azure. Yeah, but that's completely your choice. Take anyone from these three. Need to understand each and every components, like what is auto scaling, what is Kubernetes, or what is container, what are pods, like what is building pipeline, and etc. Concepts are important. Platform is just a name, right? So data engineering is essential and equally important. If your data is not correct, your model won't work. So data engineering is equal to data scientist. Yeah. So next is ignoring the importance of explainable AI in ML models and fearing AutoML. Yeah. So in today's world, let me just give example of one of the project which I worked out. So there we had built a model, some customer chat model on it, and the model was pretty good. It was given a decent output, but we had used some black box models, due to which we were unable to give explanation to our client, like how it is actually working, and why is it predicting that a customer is going to churn in future, or is it going to leave your service in future. Why? Definitely, that's the need of a client, right? He needs to know why he's going to accept your model to his own business, because his whole business will, not his whole, but his part of his business will get lost if the model is giving something wrong output, right? He needs to understand based on which feature this model is predicting that maybe your customer will leave. So explanation and explainable AI is equally important. That's true. I can say one of the most important step in machine learning is explainability of model outcome in a plain and simple business term. I've seen some examples where models performance is great, however explainability it didn't get implemented. Yeah, that's true. If your model is not explainable, maybe your model won't get implemented in your client level. That would lead to a failed project, right? And I think you don't would like being a data scientist, you wouldn't be like to get it happen, right? And yeah, that's true. And sometimes really black box models like SVM, or some other complicated models like XGBoost or CAD Boost. Sorry for that. They actually always don't work so nicely. Even that can be done by a very simple model, like maybe logistic, or just random forested or decision tree. Yeah, sometimes this really happens. So always don't get enchanted by those fancy models. Sometimes simple is also the best. Yeah. And there is one more misconception, that AutoML would take away jobs of all data scientists. No, that's not true. It can't, because I can say part of it can get automated. Like if you already use grid search CV or a random search CV, or any such kind of things, which actually let you try many models and try to do hyperparameter tuning. So maybe that kind of things which you always do in a flow, or something which has some fixed number of steps, those can get automated. Like if there is some fixed number of steps to cleaning your data, or some fixed number of steps for doing so and so task, that things can get automated. Not everything can get automated, but yeah, for sure, every time beginning of your machine learning pipeline, you can just try some auto ML, and you can keep that as your baseline, as a baseline accuracy, and later on, using your own sense, you can just try to build and make more accuracy, or any metric which you prefer to measure your model's performance on it, and try to beat that auto ML's accuracy. Yeah, that can be done. So there is no fear of auto ML. Because auto ML still lacks that explainability, that really you can say the sense of a data for and a data scientist. Yeah, it's still quite far behind. Yeah, that's true. Fourth one, ignoring to measure the business success or feedback loop for ML models. Yeah, this is very essential. Taking feedback for your model and also to make a success metrics for your model is essential. Because yeah, why you are a data scientist? Definitely to help out your client, to help your client make more business, get more customers, or help something like if you're doing something for humanity, definitely you want to know that how many people's life are getting saved by using your model, right? So building that success metrics, taking feedback from your client, and continuously improvement is what makes you a good data scientist. Only just making a model and deploying it and that's the end is not the truth. If you really want to become a successful data scientist, getting feedback from your customer is very, very essential. So being customer friendly, thinking about your customers' success is very important. So feedback loop is very important. If you ignore it, definitely you building a model is never going to be a hit thing for you. Like it's not the only thing of what data scientists should be concerned. Become a successful data scientist, not only understanding your data, making a good model, and most important, customer success is very, very important for us. Don't ever think that just making a model, deploying it is just over. No, it's not. Need to understand it. That's equally important for your company, for yourself and your customers too. Cool. Fifth, this one is most interesting thing and I'm really going to take some time to explain this. That is ignoring biases in data and spending less time in data understanding. Yeah, that's a very big flaw, or you can say one of the biggest flaw even big companies like Google is facing out. Yeah, you can just see this Twitter post over here in the left where you can see that some peoples are recognized as gorillas in by the Google Photos AI algorithm. Yeah, that's not that algorithm's fault, right? He must have been trained with some kind of pictures, due to which it is not biased to maybe dark skinned people or something. Maybe that's my assumption. Okay. So always try to make your model less biased, and how to make it less biased. Definitely, you need to do more and more EDA to understand how your data is. How, is it more biased to some gender or something? Let me take another example. There was a university wanted to make some automation based on the students intake for it, so they had some 10 to 20 years old data where they have some more details of a students of about 30 to 40 details of a student in a column, and then the last column is that was it a student taken or no, that's a 1 or a 0. So by doing some EDA, people had known that that the data was biased of not taking women into the college. So that's the kind of gender bias which the model would have been faced, and maybe in the future also it would have been behaved in the same way. It was already fed into the data. So there are many metrics available to understand the data biasness, and many methods to remove that biasness. So here is a pipeline for dealing with this biasness. So first you need to do data collection. So that should be an unbiased sampling. Means for each and every category you should have many kinds of data for it, so that it doesn't get biased to a single kind of data which has been fed to it. So there should be, you can say, diversity in your data. Next, data pre-processing, removing the data biases you should do. Model training, you have to do some regularization so that it would be performing good in every category it has been fed it to. And for model deployment, doing some threshold optimization. So fairness in machine learning model is very important. What is fairness in machine learning model? In a machine learning, given algorithm is said to be fair if its results are independent of some variables we consider to be sensitive and not related with gender, ethnicity, or something else. What is fairness in data? Our historical examples always reflect the historical prejudices and against certain social groups, prevailing cultural stereotypes and existing demographic inequalities, and the finding patterns will often mean replicating the same dynamics. The same thing which I just explained with the university intake example. So there is a fairness in software that can be calculated using the AI Fairness 360 open source toolkit. It is named as Themis ML, that is THEMIS dash ML. You can just try to search it out. It's a TensorFlow based model which can be used to understand if your machine learning model is fair enough. Yeah. So I've just told you what this 5 misconception which are usually faced by those AI/ML aspirants. So how to break this misconception and avoid this mistake. So I will say that in a service industry standpoint, service industry in the sense people who we work for clients. Product industry maybe have some more niche skills required and some maybe some more niche research skills required. Not sure for it, so I'll just see this in a service industry standpoint way. What is more important for our AI/ML aspirants and what are the key skills required now. So first is ED and domain understanding is most important. Understanding your business perspective, understanding what your client wants is very essential. Because if you don't deliver what he needs, then your model is a big failure, right? So doing ED, understanding his data. Sometimes when client doesn't know what his data has, and that's okay. So as a data scientist, you need to make them understand what's there in his data, what are the biases, and how we are going to correct it, right? So even domain understanding is obviously quite important, but yeah, we know that as a fresher or even to 3 to 4 years of experience, still we can't have domain experience in each and everything. Yeah, it's not possible, right? How can a 3 to 4 years person can have so many domain expertise if, in pharmacy, retail, some healthcare or personal care products, CPG products, finance, and etc. etc. Like so many industries, right? Each and everything really needs at least 7 to 8 years of experience to understand the domain, how the market behavior changes, how the customer behavior changes. As you can understand, the current COVID situation has really, it has turned out the market 360 degree. How the consumers are going to behave after this COVID situation is a very you can say a new research kind of new research kind of situation which is been there because. Now people have to think like mostly people are not going to visit malls, or very few people are going to visit malls. So doing that using those association algorithm and doing those self analysis, I mean shelf analysis, where like people used to think like if I keep biscuits in your milk, then even there's a high chance of the biscuits also getting sold. But no, maybe now people would be preferring online shopping and all for all those essentials. So yeah, so there are many kinds of customer behavior changing. So the best thing is research. Next, balancing data collection is important. Yeah, it is very important to collect data and also seeing that it is not getting biased, because if it is biased, then people really won't accept your model. Yeah, true. Next, getting feedback on your model performance and continuously improvement by acting fast with time. That is key to success of every model, because we are in a data world where everything is a time series. So if you just fail to update a model in some certain time framework, the data will change, consumers behavior will change. So act fast, get your feedback on your model. That is very essential. Yeah, and there is always a window frame to always retrain your model, because as you can say, people's needs are changing, situations are changing, so definitely retraining a model is very very important. Next, ignoring cloud and big data and engineering is a big mistake. At least you need to understand one of the cloud platforms, need to have a good understanding of data engineering. Yes, it is very important, because the things are quite fast and progressive in AI field. Solely, like you can't say just I'll only do modeling and all this stuff. You need to understand like every aspect of the whole data pipeline. That's very essential and important. Next, sometimes model performance is great, however, without explainability, it does not get implemented. As client don't risk their business, right? They need to understand why they are going to use a model. They need some points for it, right? Like if, say, example, a CFO has taken a financial model which is built by you, and he's facing losses, definitely you are going to lose that client, and also the CFO would get fired, right? Because he was a person who took this model into his in his company, right? So definitely that's a bad thing for everyone, like bad thing for the business person, and also bad thing for a data scientist. So always make your model in a business standpoint view, so that your client should be benefited, and also it should be according to how the market behavior. Only fitting some sklearn model, building some cool deep learning models, that's not enough. This things, sklearn, let it be sklearn or TensorFlow or PyTorch or Keras, everyone's favorite, every beginner's favorite. So these are all just tools. We should be only and only concentrated on problem solving. These are just the tools for solving all the business problems, right? So you need to understand the business. Maybe this problem can be solved with just logistic regression, or maybe it's a very hard problem like vision one, which needs neural networks and OpenCV. So that's different. Like everything, even for simple data, you can just fit your deep learning models. That's really not a good thing to be done. So, and yeah, explainability is very essential. There are some tools like SHAP, line, partial dependent plots, ELFI, scatter, and DALX. A few of them to try out. Definitely, you should try out and make a good project. Make it a part of your CV. So, if you're giving importance to explainability in AI, I can say really your resume would be valued. That's true. Please include one of the explainability project in your resume. It's very essential. It will show to your recruiters or the company you're applying that you are really bothered about explaining them how your model is coming to that decision point, and that will really solve majority of their problems when they take their models to their clients. Yeah, that's all. So that's all. Thank you for listening to me. You all are quite patient viewers, I can say. Thank you, and cheers to audience. So let's start with Q&A. Thank you.